Create and manage programs. So in this lesson, I'm going to explain you first of all what exactly is a program and why do you use it and how you can leverage in the life of a sourcing buyer. So let's understand first what's a program and why is it used. So as a program owner or a category manager, you can track the results of negotiations over a period of time and can take actions for course correction if necessary. At any program, the program status marks the overall health and progress of the program and its objective. So basically a program lets you combine a number of sourcing negotiations into something called like a bucket, which you can potentially manage and track. At the same time, you can set goals for the planned amount and your goal amount, and then track the deviations in relation to those planned amounts versus the actual total of the negotiations that you have included in a program. So you can manually include the negotiations that you may wish to monitor in your program. So as you see in the second point, you can monitor and set the status to indicate if the objective or program is on track or at risk or on hold. Once the objective and eventually the program completes, you can set the status to indicate if the goals were met or not met. Once the program completes, you can set its status to record its overall results. So basically, as it states, you can track the program status, whether the goals you have specified in your program they have been met or whether it was deviated. So you can change the status of your goals and you can set its status finally to record its overall result. As negotiations linked to a program completes, the awarded amounts are rolled up to objective level and then from the objective to the program level. So basically you can have multiple objectives in a program and then the totals of objectives it gets rolled up to the program level. Okay, so let's quickly go into Oracle Fusion Cloud Procurement applications, and there I'm going to open an existing program and to quickly run through that, and then later on in this lesson I'm going to create a new program myself and we can potentially include a number of negotiations and see how you can track them. Okay, so let's go to Fusion Apps. Alright, so I'm in the Fusion Apps and you see I'm in Procurement Responsibility. So from your main menu, from your navigator, if you navigate to Procurement and then Negotiations, this is where it will take you to. So Procurement and then Negotiations, this is where you come, and in that Manage Negotiations, on the right hand side on the taskbar, if you click on that, then you see something called as Manage Programs. So you click on this one and here you can either create a new program or manage the existing ones. Okay, so let's pull out some programs which are already there. You see these are already there and which are under progress. Okay, so as you could see in the summary status itself, you've got a program title, then you've got the phase of that program, what is the status, what's the start and finish date, and the category name the program is associated with, and finally the owner of that program. This category name could be important for category managers as well. So you can give the program access not only to sourcing buyers but also to your category managers, and those category managers would love to see negotiations included by the categories that they owned, and they may want to track their statuses, or they may want to enter or add negotiations pertaining to a particular category, set an objective, set a goal, and then monitor the status from time to time. Anyway, I'm going to click on this IT spend program. So you open that and you'll see a lot of things to consider in this. So here you go. This is the IT spend program, predefined one. So as you could see, you've got a program title, the program owner, a brief synopsis. You can give currency, conversion rate type, conversion date. If you give these, then you've got to also define the currency conversions in terms of your base currencies versus the foreign currency. Okay, then you can give the program's business unit to which it is associated with. You can give a start date and end date, a category name, and any attachment if you wish. Then you can associate a team to a program and indicate who all your team members have access to this program. Full access means people can update the program in terms of adding negotiations, updating its status, or updating objectives, planned goals, and etc. etc. Basically, whether they can edit the program details, and view only means people have got only access to view the program but they can't update it. Okay, and then you can have a note next to their names just to have any more information you wish to cover. Then you come to actual program details over here. So here you can baseline a program and monitor its status. So this is a view only information for the program, but you can always go into the program in edit mode and you can edit that. So by going and using this edit button, you can edit the program to add more negotiations or update other information that goes in the program. So let's go into this baseline tab. Alright, so in this baseline tab, as you could see, you can have multiple objectives. For example, in a fiscal year, you've got 4 quarters, and for each quarters, what is your target spend, and what is your planned spend versus the target spend, or the actual spend versus the target spend. Those details you can specify, and what's your percentage savings goal and the actual percentage spend. All that you can include it and then use it to track it. You see here, that's what this program is doing. It has got 4 quarters within a particular fiscal year, and then each of that you've got a target spend versus a current spend. So $225,000 was the target spend, but the current spend is $250,000. So the actual savings goal percentage you can specify, and then you see all these information you can give over here. Okay, so if I go into this one, for example, IT spend Q1, and how would this information comes, you can potentially include a number of negotiations that you wish to track in this particular program. You see, so more details about the objective you can give over here and baseline it in terms of your current spend, target spend, and you see the negotiations which are included, and which is where the actual amount is coming, is something you can specify over here. Can you see that? So the negotiation, and this is the number, and the planned amount you can give it here as well, and you can see what is the savings percentage or savings goal percentage in terms of your target spend versus the actual or the current spend, and that is specified in this particular column. So if you go and edit this particular objective, you see here you can edit these goals. Okay, and for example, you may wish to add a new negotiation over here. So you see the current spend is and the target spend, and finally the goal percentage. Okay, so this is what you can edit in terms of planning, and then you can include the negotiations, and here you can add more details. So let's add a new negotiation. All right, then I've got a new negotiation over here. Let's say which one I've got. Let's say this one, and see whether it includes that one. As such, presently it is in closed status. We have completed it. So let's see. If I open a search bar or a form search, then I can possibly include or search negotiation with various different criteria. Alright, if okay, you've got this one. So what's the number we've got? 31793. You see, here it is. So let's take this one, and you see, as soon as you've got this negotiation, here you can specify your current spend, your target spend, and the savings percentage. Okay, and again, it has come automatically from the negotiation. Okay, now if I add one more negotiation, this one, it's similar, probably because this negotiation was copied from this one. So we can see more information about this if we go to the negotiation lines and see the details out there. Okay, so 31797, if we pull it out, so what I'm going to do at this time is I'm going to save this. Okay, and you can see those negotiations were added here, right? You see, this one and this one, these two we have added. It is also showing you what is the status, and this one, it is showing you completed status. This one is closed. Okay, so if I go on to 31793 in manage negotiations tab, here, and if I search by that negotiation, I can see more details here. That's pulling up. Clear out the owner. Okay, and then I'm gonna open this negotiation. So this is owned by Tiffany Irving, and the reason why Kelvin Roth is able to view it is because he is one of the team members having full access to this negotiation. Now if I go on to the lines, so you see the present status is completed and with purchasing document created. Okay, so you see here the estimated quantity is 50 with a start price of $120, but this is the RFQ. The actual price received in terms of quotations would be different, which is where it is showing you more details about what is the current price and what is the target spend, and that you can see more details out here somewhere when you go into analysis of supplier responses and to whom the award was actually given. Okay, let me go there. If I say analyze negotiation, so if I simply open a calculator here, so you see the present requested quantity is 50, start price 120. This is the maximum price the organization wish to pay. So if you calculate, this comes to $6,000, but that is a maximum price they wish to pay. In other words, they are looking for quotations which are lesser than this. So if you go and analyze the details of the responses received and to whom it was awarded, you will see more details about the savings percentage. So here it's only showing the start price, but it's not showing the current price and the target price. So based on the current price, your actual savings percentage gets calculated by the system automatically. for example, if the current price is $100 per hour and you accepted a supplier quotation which is $80 per hour, so you are straight away making a savings of 20% out there, right? So you see here it is showing the savings. Total agreement amount is 4850, savings is minus 850, so total savings is 21.25. so that is basically the award summary. Okay, and you can split that award. That award has been split into two with two suppliers. You can see the details over here. Okay, so you see the award amount here is $2,000. So a part of the requested line quantity has been awarded to one supplier and second part to another supplier based on their responses and other criteria evaluated by the sourcing suppliers. Okay, so total awarded amount is 4850. Okay, and possibly the savings percentage are showing over here. So these are the combined savings, and if you hover on this you will see the details, right? So combined savings is 21.25%. Okay, so if I go back to my program here, the system has pulled certain information 31793, and that could be based on the current spend. So currently what price the system is paying and the target what they are looking for paying. This is what is shown over here, not the amount that was awarded. Okay, so if I go back and within this RFQ itself you will see the line details. So what we saw, the line details was it is showing the start price, the maximum price that the company wishes to pay to the supplier, but it is not showing the current price. So if you look at the current price, this is where you will see more information, and when you multiply it with the line quantity, that's where you will achieve the 4000 figure. Okay, so here back to the RFQ. In fact, you can view the negotiation from manage negotiation once more, but since it is open the system is a bit slow. Okay, so bear with me. Let's open this line to see if we could have a look at the current price. Okay, so as you could see the current price is $80. So if I go back to my calculator and say 80 multiplied by the quantity of number of hours 50 and then say equals, so this is where 4000 comes. And if I now go back to my program, you would see where that 4000 is coming from, right? You see the current price $80, target price is $100, and this is where the statistics are coming from. So let's say 31793 was the RFQ we were looking at. So the current price, which is where it is coming from, 4000, so present spend, and target they are looking to spend is $5000, and saving goal percentage is 25%. So if you determine the goal percentage, it is 25% from current to target spend. Okay, so that's where it is coming from. So where is this 5000 coming from? Target. So it is the target price, which is over here. If you go back to your RFQ, you see the target price is 100. So if I say 50 multiplied by 100, and this is where you see the 5000 is coming from. So that's how the system is calculating your current spend and your target spend, and what is the savings goal percentage you're looking for. You see, this is how it is coming. And what the system is also doing is adding it up automatically, whatever you are giving over here, right, and showing you the current spend versus the target spend over here. And you can keep adding any number of RFQs as you wish, and to clearly understand your savings goal percentage. Okay, and you see at the top you can also give your current spend versus the target spend. Okay, something like an amount, and again you can give savings goal percentage. So basically it's not completely automated, it's a bit manual exercise, but this sort of workbench will let you manage your RFQs based on a specific category. Okay, and that category is something you see the you can specify at the objective level over here. Okay, so if I save and close it, and as you could see, you can assign it to a different person as well. One objective assigned to someone else. So as a program owner, Kelvin Roth has assigned a particular objective to someone else, which is owning another category, for example Casey Brown. So like that you can spend it. So if I go back and check more information, you can see that the current spend is this, the target spend is this, savings goal percentage this, but in terms of the planned ones which are over here. Okay, so once again, if you go back to IT spend and have a look as to where these details are coming from, you would see more information in terms of the explanation I have given you. So if you see current spend, target spend, if you note down these details here, you will see the stats, current spend, target spend, $250,000, and here it is $225,000 in terms of the baseline, and then planned ones. If I simply copy this, you will see the current spend is 258,000, and then the target spend is 235,000. Okay, so let's go back and open it. So you see, you look at the details over here. So the current spend, the baseline, this is the baseline. Okay, the baseline spend, where is it coming from? It is coming from here. You see, can you see this region? If I open it in edit mode, you will see how the system is getting these details. This is something you can change the baseline details yourself. And the associated saving goal and saving goal percentage is something you can change it. Okay, so you see it is coming from here, the baseline, but the planned spend, you have two columns over here, current spend and target spend, and the totals of the negotiations in terms of the current, what is the current amount you are spending versus the target amount you are looking to negotiate from the supplier is something shown over here. Okay, so you see 258,000 is the present amount the organization is spending on items or services which are there in the lines of these RFQs. Okay, so that's where it is coming from, current spend. And target spend is, this is the amount you wish to negotiate from your supplier, $235,000, which is coming as a total of this one. Okay, but another column which is not shown over here is, once the RFQ, if it is completed, what is the actual amount you have awarded to the supplier. Ideally that should also be there so that you can see what is the current spend, what is the target spend, but what is the actual spend, and what is the savings percentage in the actual spend in terms of the current versus actual and current versus the target amount. And that is something which is missing here. But in any case, you have some basic information for a category manager or a sourcing buyer or a procurement manager to track. But if you want to have that kind of a view which I just talked about, I think it's a good idea to make a BI report in OTBI. You can pull up some columns or possibly look at some sort of customization if you don't find those in the standard reports. Okay, so now as I will simply cancel it. So now you understand the concept of a program. If I go back to my presentation, we'll quickly cover a number of other details. I hope you have understood the concept of a program in a sourcing application in Oracle Fusion. So now you see this was the page we covered. Now in the next page, if you see using spend and saving attributes, you can use planned current spend and planned target spend attributes at the negotiation level to capture the current spend and target amounts from the negotiations that are associated with your program objectives. So this is what I've just demonstrated you, but what is not there is the actual spend amount that you finally awarded to the suppliers. These values roll up from the negotiations to the objective level and then from objective level to the program level. So if I go back to Fusion applications, and here I have shown you the negotiations amount getting rolled up at the objective level. So you see these are getting totaled up and shown up as the planned amount, and whereas the baseline amount is this, and this is shown in the summary of the objectives. And then you see the finally each of these objectives have got a different current spend and target spend based on the negotiations that you have included. And finally the total of each of the objectives gets rolled up at the program level, and that is where it is shown over here in the current spend and target spend like this. And if I click on this edit now, so this I believe is something you can give more information, but what is shown as a total over here is at the bottom. You see this is something, again, just like an objective, you can give a baseline amount in terms of current spend and target spend, but what is the actual amount? The actual amount is over here. What is a planned amount is something you see at the bottom. The total amount is shown over here. So you can compare what baseline I have made versus what is the present or current spend I am making versus the target spend I am looking for. But again, what is not shown over here is the actual spend in terms of the actual awards you have made a contract with your supplier. I would say that would be beneficial if a category manager or a sourcing or a procurement manager would like to have a holistic view of the spend. So anyway, that is what is something explained in my presentation over here. So the next step is at the negotiation level, you can associate negotiations and statuses from draft to complete with an objective, which is what I have shown you. So even if this RFQ or auction status in draft, you can include it as a part of your objective. Even if it is completed, you can include it. You can't associate negotiations of statuses such as cancel, amended, or round completed to an objective. I believe the main reason is because these have certain negotiations are cancelled, so there is no point including them as a part of your program objective, or someone which are amended or round completed which are under progress. So it's pointless to have them included. Now in the last slide for program, using the monitoring program page. So since we have already covered it, I believe you can understand in a better way as to how you can monitor from your program page. So let's go through the points. Once you have created and launched a program, the program phase becomes in progress. So which is what is shown in the first summary form we have seen after we queried the program. So let's go back to Fusion Apps. I'm quickly showing you that. So if you cancel this out and come back to your summary page here in Manage Programs, this is where you can see the status of the program in progress. And when you click on open and see in the detail page, which is where I believe it's going to show you the phase as well, and the phase will be in progress. Okay, so this is the first status when you create a program, add objectives and associate negotiations with those objectives. So that's where it is showing you the status. Alright, so if you go back to the presentation, look at the other points. See, while the program is in progress, program calculations are triggered, analytics and metrics are available, and you can track the progress of program objectives and update their status as needed by viewing the monitor program page. So this is something I have not shown you. What I have shown you was the details of the objectives, and within those objectives the details, how you can add the objectives, and within objective how you can add negotiations and see details of negotiations. But what I pointed out was the negotiations within the objective is not showing you something like the actual status of those negotiations in terms of what was the awarded amount and the savings percentage in terms of the awarded amount versus the target amount and versus the present spend. And that is something which is shown under the monitor program page, but again at a high level, at the objective level. So if you wish to drill down further into the actual savings made in terms of the awarded amount, then you can simply go to the negotiations. Okay, so at a high level, something good is you can monitor it at the objective level, at the negotiation level, but at the detail level, if you want to monitor it, then you have got to go to the individual negotiation. And I'm going to show you in a little while from now. Let's quickly cover these points as well. And from the actions menu, you can update the program status, complete the program and cancel the program. So we can have a look at that information as well. And on the planning progress tab, you can click the manage objectives link to navigate to baseline page for your program, which we have seen. You can add negotiations link to navigate to baseline program for your program. We have seen that one as well. And click the manage negotiations link to view the details of negotiation associated with this program from manage negotiation page in sourcing. So we have seen all this in terms of the information we have added in the program from objectives to negotiations, but what we have not seen is the monitor program page and the actions menu. So let's go back to Fusion applications and quickly have a look. Alright, so you see in the summary page itself, you have got, if you click on a particular program, you can hit this monitor button and it's going to open you a program spend page in terms of monitoring the program. And as you could see over here, the details are also shown in a graphical format. You see the program status is on track. Okay, the negotiated savings in terms of actual negotiation awarded amounts have been shown over here, and what was the goal of those have been shown here. On the right hand side, you can see the figures. What was the baseline target spend? We have seen baseline amount is something you can edit at the program level and at the objective level, and not allocated to objectives you can see, and you can see the result as well as to what was the finally the awarded amount. You see the negotiated award amount here, you can see. So you can see what was the baseline target spend, what was the negotiation target spend, and what is the final award amount. So there is clearly a savings over here in terms of the baseline target spend. Okay, and those savings are something which are shown over here in GUI format, right? So you can see the savings goal. So at the program level, what was the savings goal was $120,000. What was the negotiation savings goal? So at a negotiation level, what was the target spend was? It was totaling $50,000, but the actual awarded amount was $6,950. So this is the actual savings you have made in terms of the baseline, which is again significant. Okay, and here you see in this particular graphic, you can see at an objective level the GUI. So you had several objectives, 4 objectives based on each of the quarters, quarter 1, 2, 3 and 4, and each of them have got a baseline amount in terms of the spend and the savings, and then at a negotiation level you had. So you can see the negotiated savings over here, the green ones, which are possibly like the awarded amounts, and the details over here at an objective level that you have given. And the objective status, here you can see the savings deviation based on, you see the bar chart is showing you the savings deviation. And I believe you can change this as well from objectives to something else. Okay, let's see if it is giving us an option to change it. Oh, look, so it is basically giving you another detailed form. What was shown over here was the GUI, but here you can see the actual details. What was the baseline, the planned ones, and the results of those objectives. And that is something you see in terms of negotiation target spend and negotiation savings goal. But this is what I said was missing, but now it is showing in terms of the results. So what was the negotiated award amount versus the negotiated savings. So these are the actual amounts, and these were the targets amount in the negotiation, and these were the planned amount. So you can clearly see the differences, and you can see the savings deviation in terms of the target versus the actual, right? And you have the status of the objective over here on track, which you can always change it. Okay, so you see here you have something like update status. So if you click on this particular objective and click on update status, you can update the status of objective. And here you see, if I simply click on update status, so you have updating the objective status and updating the program status as a whole. So anyway, this one was update results. So here you can see the refreshed results, what you can see. Okay, so you see the negotiation title, the business unit status, and finally the negotiated awarded amount, the actual amount versus the planned amount or the target amount. Okay, so I'm going to simply cancel it. And if you say update objective status, here you can update the status, let's say from objective status on track to further, if you wish to update, for example, closed or any other status. Again, this is just a lookup and something you can manually update it. So you see, if you go on to status and presently it's on track, you can also give your status at risk. For example, if the spend is more than planned, you can change it to at risk, or due to some unforeseen condition you may want to hold your objective, for example coronavirus pandemic, and because of that your sourcing is on hold, nothing is happening in terms of sourcing negotiations with your supplier. So at that time you can place it on hold. Then you can always change your status to goals met and goals not met. For example, if it's end of the fiscal and you want to update the real status of your objective that time, or when the objective quarter has come to an end, for example if it's for the first quarter, then end of that quarter you may want to update the goals, whether they are met or whether they are not met. So all these is something a manually updated ones, and it's helpful, but again the thing is, these details you've got to track it manually. So I'm going to cancel that now. Okay, And you see that was at the objective level, but at the program level also you can use this particular actions menu to change the status. So presently the status was in progress. You can change to complete program, you can cancel the program, or you can also update the program status to something else, from in progress to on track or on hold, okay, or goals met or goals not met. Okay, so like that you can change the program status as well. So this is how basically you can possibly use a sourcing program to not only give your baseline amounts in terms of your current baseline and spend baseline. At the same time, you can also track your baseline versus the actual list of negotiations you have included in a program. You can objectify it, divide it into several objectives, and then include your programs within objectives, and then again track the status in terms of the present spend and the actual spend. So click on that one, you will see more details. And you see here, if I say, you see you can also include certain more columns if you feel like, which are hidden columns like this. Okay, so basically this is very helpful for sourcing buyers, procurement managers, and your category managers to track the sourcing activities within your program, and to have a quick overview of what's going on in terms of baseline, in terms of your current spend, target spend, and actual spend.